So it's a whole week long. So it gives that heavier. Last one you said eat once. I just like the party. My mom's right. Oh yeah. Last one you said eat once. Where we can do the party.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. Somebody who's on Zoom needs to be muted, I think. Amy, who else is on? Is she the only one on? Amy, are you muted?
Yes, I was muted.
Amy?
Sorry, I don't know what it is.
And it's not her. Who was it? All right. Yeah, that's what I said. I should have wore a jacket. Chief? No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Not since the last 3 years and 10 months. It's not like. I think we did have someone else on the council, and I've been other meetings, you know, as mayor on other boards where people have shared about. All right. It's called to order this regular meeting of the Pleasant View City Council, October 12th, 2021. It is now 6:03, a couple minutes late. We'd like to excuse a couple members of the council. I don't know, Kevin said he was going to possibly join us through Zoom. Councilmember Bailey, I'm not sure. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to. And I think Dave is away traveling for work. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, opening prayer reading or expression of thought by Councilmember Arrington.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful that we could meet together tonight as a city council, and we're grateful for the opportunity we have to serve in this great community. We're grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy in this land, and we're so grateful for our law enforcement and those who help protect those freedoms that we do have and enjoy. And we pray tonight as we discuss things that will affect our city, that we'll be able to affect it positively, and that we'll be able to have the insights that we need for future planning and growth and the things that we want to protect our beautiful city. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Sarah and Steve were both smart. They brought coats. They must have known it was going to be freezing in here.
Actually, I was just going to take one off.
Oh, really?
I was burning up in that other room.
You might want to put it back on. All right. Declarations of conflict of interest. Are there any declarations that need to be made? Seeing none, we'll move on to comments or questions for the mayor or council from the public. Anybody who wish to comment on items not on the agenda? Okay, first item of business is going to have to be tabled, have to be put off. Family emergency precluded that from happening, so we'll reschedule that when we're able to do that, which is just as well because we're missing 2 of our council members, so that worked out probably okay. Okay.
I'd like to volunteer Sarah to be in the suit.
Oh, then I'll volunteer you right back.
All right.
Bike. So,
Public hearing also is going to be put off until the 12th, or is it 26th? I mean, okay. So we'll start with item 3 on the agenda. It was the discussion and possible action to consider granting preliminary plat approval to Heart of Pole Patch Phase 3 with 7 lots located between 250 West and Cottonwood Drive below 4575 North. Petitioners John Ferry and Jill. Turn it over to you.
So here is our location. It is, there's Cottonwood Drive, 4575, 350. So if you go up 250 West, right here. So it looks like this whole parcel is. This is what the project looks like. As you can tell, there's 7 lots. There's a remainder parcel. The detention pond is parcel A. It was determined, calculated between all of the phases. So parcel A will be enough for the detention pond. The lot sizes work, the flow, fire flow works. Again, there's a remainder parcel, which means nothing will be developed on there, no improvements will be needed, because nothing will be going there.
Forever?
Until they decide to
Is it Heart of Pole Patch
subdivide it.
3, 4, 5, whatever, or somebody else comes in?
Yep. There was a request, the developers wanted to know, and right here, they will not have access for these 2 lots or 3 onto Cottonwood Drive. It's very steep. So the question is to you guys, on top of the preliminary, is if you guys would allow them not to have a sidewalk on this side. There is some already on this side. So the transition would be from right about here over to this side if you do that.
Yes. What do we typically do when we have lots like that, when the back side of the homes border the streets? Have we required it in the past?
I'm not 100% sure on that one. But with these ones, and Dana and I will talk, I don't want to do this. But it's very steep, so they would have to do retaining walls as well. So that's why the question was brought up, if you guys would be interested in allowing them to.
Legitimate question. I just wanted to know what we have done in the past.
No, it is a legitimate question. I don't know for sure right now. No. I can get back to you on that one.
Do you have an opinion on this request, Tyson?
And there's a sidewalk on the adjacent side of the street.
Right.
So for that safety.
Here's a closer look at the subdivision and the notes that would be on the plat. We have the wiring and the easement. Planning commission really likes, so here's a way pipe on the first parcel with the road.
Excuse me, Mayor. Go ahead. Along Cottonwood, those back sides, is that just going to be fenced, like a vinyl fence, or what's going to be? How are they going to access that street there? I know there's not going to be a.
Each individual owner could put it, have that. For me specifically, I'm not under 20. I would have a fence to keep the deer out. But
Is that something that we could possibly look into requiring if there's no sidewalk to have a fence there then?
Well, yeah, my mind's having a hard time. I would like, and this can be part of the motion, but I would like maybe for myself and Tyson and Dana and Jill to actually do an on-site visit and look. You know, I know on the top of 500 where the Bars property is, they did a retaining wall, but we also moved the sidewalk and kind of did away with the park strip in that area. So there was still a sidewalk, but they didn't have 4 feet and then 5 feet. You know, even if we just anyway, I think if we had the ability to just go and then just make the decision, staff and I think an on-site visit and an actual eyes-on would be
That's exactly what I was saying. I'd like to picture, but my problem, and I know it's a cost, obviously, but I would like, even if we could do maybe a 3-foot or something, you know, something right against the curb, because I mean, for years, we didn't require it, and we wish we would have in some of the.
Well, our standards now require
And
it.
just
So.
we right now, you know, we didn't have curb and gutter. We didn't have that stuff, and now we're just fighting to get that in.
and that's what we did at the top of 500 is I think it ended up being a 4-foot right against the curb there where the retaining wall is.
So, you know, we did 3 feet as, you know, a lot of these older subdivisions were 3 feet. Just,
Non-Orchard Drive.
yeah, I know,
We did.
but that was, you know, kind of the minimum was a 3-foot right against it. I don't know, but I would like to look at it as well, Mayor.
Yeah,
I
I think that's
I'd really like to
Not
see
much,
how
okay.
it looks.
One thing about this site specifically is, I mean, Cottonwood goes to the mountain. Like, there's
Mhm.
not a lot of through traffic going along there. I mean, it's just, you go up there to go mountain biking and that's it. So as far as foot traffic goes, there really isn't that much, and there's not a lot of car traffic either. So, I mean, I think a site visit would be great. I think you'd go up and go, yeah, I don't think.
Well, but
That's I think we have the latitude to make an intelligent. You know, I'd hate for it to go in and then go up there and go, oh, well, we could have done this.
Well, if
We probably should have
but keeping
done
with
if,
our
if
standards.
if you
as
have
well,
the
too.
fence all the way to the gutter, to the curb and gutter, or something like that, where that's just close off, where you don't have any access to it, it's just a road. There's, you know, a sidewalk on the other side. I can see that. But if you have yards that are coming out onto that, well,
Yeah.
so whatever it is, I mean, just
So-
if there's access to that through a yard or something, I don't know. I think that'd be a different thing.
Well, anyway, I'd like to see that maybe part of the motion is allow us to administratively go up and look at it and decide.
So if we don't allow the fence to come out a little bit, who's going to maintain all that? If it's just dirt.
It's still the resident that would maintain it.
just like you do
Yes.
yours,
Uh-huh.
you don't have sidewalk, but
If there's nothing,
Between
you
my
would still
sidewalk,
have to
my curb
maintain
and
all
gutter,
that
I gotta
behind your
maintain
home
I
as
know,
well.
but if they, well, okay.
They would have to maintain that right away.
yeah.
And how wide would that be? What's the right of way from that?
Mhm.
Well, but what's,
10 feet,
so is it 10, is it 10 feet?
10 feet.
10 feet, so there's a 10-foot section there between.
Yeah.
I'm-
10 feet still allows for the park strip and the sidewalk.
And I really understand their concern about putting a sidewalk there where it looks like it doesn't really need to be, but I also understand the problems we're having everywhere else where we're talking about the mistakes that were made years ago by not
Yes.
putting sidewalks in, and we're trying to figure out how to fund them and put
Right.
them in because nobody looked far enough ahead, so it's
And
kind of a,
so,
And I don't want this to be.
And if it's-
stumbling block, this is just.
if it's impossible to do or if it's extremely hard to do, then this location gives to the fact that, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do it. But if there's any possibility, as I said, I think it takes some eyes on.
how do you want this motion to vote?
Well, I think we could go ahead. Well, let's finish the
Pending-
presentation, but then, yeah,
Okay.
some
And
kind of
that's why we
flexibility
wanted
to have the sidewalks.
What did planning commission say?
But that wasn't part of the discussion of the planning commission.
So that's why it's a question. But that's it. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Everything will be up to standards. That's when we want to ask about the sidewalks.
So they're waiting for approval so they can start selling lots. Is that correct?
This is just preliminary, not
Oh.
escrow. That's
They still can't sell lots, but this is the first step. All right, so we got time between now and final to work this out.
So then,
I think
Mr. Mayor.
I think it'd be appropriate that we could grant preliminary approval of what's submitted with getting this worked out with
All right.
before final.
Would that work? Just
Okay.
grant the preliminary plat approval, hard pole patch, and as stated, and then we can, when the final comes, then we can.
Okay, so no contingency. Okay. So then I would like to make a motion to grant preliminary plat approval to the Hartful Patch Phase 3, the 7 lots located between 250 West and Cottonwood Drive below 4575 North. And you,
I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just that doesn't grant the sidewalk. Okay. Motion by Yuri, second by Gibson. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries 3-1. We could, if you'd like, we could give you a call. Or either way. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, item 4, discussion possible action to consider granting final plat approval to Harris Hills Phase 5 and escrow with 10 lots located at approximately 1075 West, 4300 North. Petitioner Roy Harris, presenter Jill.
Okay, hold on. Here's the location. Here's your 900 West, 4300 North skyline. It's the last phase on the Harris Hills group of subdivisions. Here's the layout. It has done preliminary. The Mylar's sitting on my desk. He's met all the requirements. Taxes are done. I verified with the abstract. Everything looks great. The escrow is posted and it's under the correct account and just waiting for some signatures on that.
This one's way too easy.
Now, what is this?
Everything okay?
Is this with Carson?
we can't, there has to be questions.
What?
There has to be.
What is
issues.
going on?
Come on.
The world has changed with COVID.
There's a check mark by all 4. Wow.
Was there any questions? Did this go to? Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Everything's in. I want to make this motion.
I want to.
Oh, do you?
We're fighting over it.
Go ahead.
I'll second
You're
it if you want.
popular.
All right. Then I'll do it. I'll make a motion that we approve granting final plat approval to Harris Hills Phase 5, located on 1075 West, 4300 North,
And accept the escrow.
and accept the escrow.
I would like to second that with a gold star right in Carson's forehead.
Put
Okay.
your pen away. Let's go.
Any further discussion? Oh, motion by Arrington, second by Gibson. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Great, thanks. All right, item 5, discussion and possible action to adopt a development agreement with Sunpro Company to coordinate engineering services in the amount of $19,020 for roadway improvements to transition from one-way to two-way travel at 1000 West between 2700 North and 2550 North. Amy?
Yes, I am here, Mayor. Let me, let's see, I need to do a screen share real quick to put up this map. So before you this evening, council, is a consideration. We've been working closely with the development group, Sunpro, who will be putting in a development off of that 1000 West one-way street. And the intent, and really there's been a city desire to change the traffic flow and the use of the street for a long period of time. And so the intent is to convert this to a two-way street. And in coordinating with the developer, the city has been agreeable to take on that task as they're going to be doing all of the on-site improvements and all of that adjacent to, and then also retain the responsibility for the curb and guttering and all of that, and we'll be dedicating a portion of their property to allow for the roadway improvements too. So this development agreement before you this evening, and I'm going to put up a map on this, but is to allow for this to occur with coordination of engineering services. And so in order to allow the development to move forward as proposed with the engineering group that they've worked with the UDOT approval that they've already received. It would be needful for their timeline for us to coordinate and adopt a development agreement so that we can share engineering services with them. And I will say with the amount on this, so with the engineering services, it's that $19,020, but then there's also a $90,000 anticipation for the striping and resurfacing portion of the city side that will come later in a different budget amendment. So let me see if this will let me screen share right now with that map, just to kind of show how that traffic flow is gonna look. And so as you can see this, and it's not a perfect solution, but we are continuing to work with UDOT on getting to a more finite and improved solution with this. But there's this 1000 West here that will become two-way. And then over on the other side, it'll be an in only from 89, US 89, and not an outlet. Just with the flow of traffic, we won't be able to accommodate that as of current, but there is a plan with UDOT to put in a signalized intersection at some point in that area. And so at that point, we'll be looking at some options with that to possibly have an outlet portion to that. Over here on the other side, they do have a deceleration lane from UDOT to kind of get in over here and to actually come out over on this side. And so that does help increase some of the safety components there. And ultimately, the intent is for all of the offsite improvements on the roadway to be covered by the city, as the city would usually do roadway improvements in this case, especially because this is a project that's been on the city's radar. And then the striping, and then any coordination with UDOT with that. And then the developer will obviously be developing their site and the surroundings, and then help with some of the asphalt. So I don't know if there's any questions this evening on this item.
Can I ask for clarification?
Go ahead.
So if you're coming along 2550 going west, your options are you can come onto 89. You cannot. You can only go on to 1000. Right?
Correct. So there's only you can get onto 2550 from 89, but you cannot go back the other direction.
Okay, and then coming on 1000, if you're going.
I think if you're going straight, you have to go on straight.
Say that again, Steve. You can only. That's what she's saying.
What if you're,
You can't come down here, this is a one-way going east.
Yes,
This is a one-way.
yes.
Yeah. So you can't go out.
That's what
going
it is
down
currently.
1000.
Yeah, it's not any different than current. There's no outlet now, and there won't be an outlet that's able to be accommodated right now. Later, the intent is to make those improvements with UDOT, but it's going to take a little bit of time because there is that planned signalized intersection that we're not ready for yet.
Okay.
Only real change other than two-way affects traffic generally not. Now, right now, they can come off here on this one. They will not be able to do that electronic line. So there will be no getting on this section from. That's the real thing that really has changed.
So, Mayor, stay right there for a second. So if you're on 1000 and you're going south, can you get onto 89 that way? You cannot. But now it's going to be two-way, right? So, okay, but you still can't do that.
So they could come here and then go on south.
Yeah, so that allows them another access instead of just having to go on 2700.
Okay, so the
At least
only,
for now.
sorry. So the only, if you're going south, your only option is to go into 2550 right now on the two-way street. Okay. Okay.
Is that's
Yeah, I'm confused.
That's clear as mud.
I'm not confused about any of that. What I'm confused, I have two development agreements in front of me for SunPro. One that was
Yes,
attached.
let me clarify that for you. So we were in a bit of a hurry putting this together. Dana put together a draft and Sunpro sent over. And so you all have a substitute before you. Sorry, I should have gotten to that earlier. And it really is not any content modification. It's just, in my opinion, more stylistic in going through what the alterations and red lines are to that. And really it's exactly the same thing. I mean, the only thing is they took off the approving the development agreement upon recordation, but they won't actually be recording all of their development work until later. And so that did make sense to take that portion off. And then they also requested that an exhibit A be added, and it's basically the content here in these boxes on the screen for the project improvement and the offsite improvement responsibilities, and that the city will be taking the offsite and then the developer will be taking the project. And they just wanted that more clearly called out. So those are the major changes to it. But again, it really doesn't change any of the amounts or the content or the approach of the agreement, just more or less their attorney just had some minor tweaks.
I like okay. Because
Sorry,
the one
I appreciate you
the
asking
first one I looked at, there were some typos and stuff, and I thought, I wonder if anybody's been through this. So okay.
No,
Well,
I'm glad that we
we
were pretty tight in getting it on Friday. Poor Laurie, I think I sent it to her at 12:20. So we were a little tight, but yeah, it's definitely cleaned up and improved.
Well, this is an exciting project. I'm looking forward to getting that roadway back to a two-way road. Those businesses, the dental office, the dance studio, the
daycare, and
daycare.
And we did reach out to them and haven't heard anything back. I think that they're all amenable to the modification as well. And yeah. Oh, Jill, did we hear something back?
You said no.
Oh no. Okay, good. Sorry. It's good for me to come and participate in an electronic meeting and hear from this side, because you can't always hear everything. But yeah.
So that two-way street on 1000 is going to help Sunpro with what they need to accomplish.
Yes.
So
Gives them two different options instead of just one.
Well, they wanted an option off of 2700, and UDOT would not give them that.
But that intersection, if I may, highway, that's part of our traffic study that we, transportation master plan, not traffic study, that we were going to look at possibly. Highway 89 and 2550 and 2700.
Yeah, I did have that on my list of possible. So what I'll do with that list, and it's quickly grown past the 10 option that we have, and so I'm gonna come and maybe in a work meeting with the council, we can vet that out. We're actually forming a transportation master plan committee too, and so just to make sure we get the 10 streets we want to do, or I mean, I don't know what the costs are if we wanted to expand that or whatnot too, but I think we want to start with the 10 that we have, and but right now this is currently on that list. That is correct. And I will say, to the mayor's point, we have spent months and months working with the developer and with UDOT to come up with a solution where they could actually utilize the site. And from what I've learned, and obviously I don't have all of the history having been here, but there's been a lot of developers that have tried to make this site work. And because of that access off of 2700, it hasn't been a possibility. And I kudos to the developer for really, I mean, they've sat down with us multiple times. They've met with UDOT and really ultimately got the approval from UDOT in working through these details. And we are really appreciative of their partnership on this.
Amy?
Yes.
Nancy? Are they going to have, as part of this, are they going to do improvements on the north side of 2550?
Yes. So they will be putting in the curb and gutter there.
It's going to be curb and gutter all the way up to the,
and then they're dedicating part of their property to allow for the road to be widened, because if you see it now and as a one-way, it doesn't have that width that is needed. The other side does, because it's got that turn lane. And so it's more restriping on the entrance off of 2700, but it's not adequately wide enough on that other end currently. And so they are going to be giving us some of their property without cost for that.
All the way up to the east side of the property, right? On the 2550 side.
Yeah, they're putting in a driveway and curb and gutter and everything on that 2550. Okay, perfect. You can see where that blue box is pointing. That will be their exit, the entrance. So
Yeah, I see it. I'm right here.
I don't know if you guys can see my mouse or not. Sorry. I point to things and yeah.
I think that would be part of the agreement, right?
yeah, which isn't
If it's a standard, then it would be, right, Tyson? The other side.
On the north side.
Is it? Okay.
And part of the agreement too is to meet all standards and code. So, I mean, they're not asking for any special favors or permission or anything. It's just more to get this two-way roadway in place so that they can have access to their property off of 2700. That's the main goal and intent. And more decisions will be forthcoming on this item as well.
We piped that when they gave us 2550. UDOT gave us the money to pipe the ditch. It was open all the way to the border.
So that's that's pretty standard, just like residential for commercial and whatever else to provide that curb and gutter along the city's thoroughfares and stuff.
I'm excited. I just saw Sunpro in Salt Lake. Huge.
I know.
Facility.
They're everywhere now.
And they've really been wonderful to work with. I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, just, you know, what are your rules? How do we follow them? How do we work with you?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the development agreement as stated with Sunpro Company in item number 5 for $19,020.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Arrington. This is a development agreement.
It'd be a good thing.
Solution. So I don't need a roll call. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Great. All right. Closed meeting. I don't believe we have one. Do we?
I don't have any items.
Okay. So 6 and 7 or other business. Tyson, we're going to hit you first, and then if you need to leave, you're welcome to leave. Do you have anything? Welcome back. Glad you're feeling better. I don't know if anybody saw, you probably just sent the email to me and Amy, but we had a windstorm that broke the flagpole on the roundabout. So we got to get a new pulley and some rope, and I think they've ordered that and looked at it, or they're working toward repairing
That's
that.
an answer to some of the questions on social media of where's the flag.
Yeah, the flag isn't there because there's no lanyard or whatever it's called.
Right in the middle of that, setting up the wing plow, and that's pretty intensive. So and with that, they got to get out there with the lift and restring all that. So
Duct tape.
they're going to try to
Wing twine.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Duct tape.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I guess we got to get those plows ready. Hopefully we're gonna have snow this year.
Yes.
Hopefully. Lots of it.
I want to, I'll claim, because my garage just went up last week, the wall.
Oh, so you're
And so I am,
get credit for
the
this.
reason for this weather is solely on Steve Gibson.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
So you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And,
No, that's awesome.
not a-
Glad everybody's
not a
doing
parade
better
this summer.
So you got the
So I
girl.
guess it
All
was
right.
delivered.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can leave or stay. It's up to you. Jill, you have anything? Okay.
Jason, do we have plenty of salt? Didn't need it last year.
Actually, we used a lot of salt last year because we didn't get a lot of snow. And it was all just like this and really slick. So.
Do we only have one wing then, or is it two of the new trucks have the wing?
We have the two now.
Okay.
Is the one fixed?
Yeah, it's regularly, as Sarah found out on her ride, and the newest one, I think we broke down 3 times. Had to
Awesome.
throw a chain on. We lost the side view mirror, just normal things, and it gets a good discussion about why you have your right of way and trimming and not having fences up against the street.
Don't park in the street.
Because,
Not parking,
Mayor,
she watched
because we're gonna have a good winter this year, I do want to request a ride along when you get slammed.
those 4 a.m. calls.
I would call me at 4 a.m. because I want to come and just, I want to see that going. So Christmas
4 a.m. on
a.m.
Christmas morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Perfect. I want to go along with you for that.
Oh,
That-
right to
I don't want to just go when you're
Buddy.
just pushing slush. I want to have it be when it's just,
I got
makes the slush balls that shoot
yeah,
pile down the
knock
street.
down the mailboxes and all that stuff.
Do you think we have any, hate to change from snow to grass, but do you think we have any permanently damaged areas of our parks or facilities that from the drought? But
Not so much the parks.
I think they'll all come back. Good.
It's most of it. I think a lot of that, the infiltration product we put out, I think helps take it a lot further than maybe out here with all the construction you'd probably lose, but in the park areas, I think they care.
No, the berm is pretty bad. It's going to take a little bit to come back.
Which one?
Along the berm.
Oh,
And then in front, there's some, it's what it is, but there's some places. One thing, the parking, the street light is out on Pleasant View Drive, right at our
100?
no, where we have the crossing of the path,
Oh, about 400.
whatever that is.
Oh, no, it's a little farther west.
Street light.
550 and
Well,
under.
it's
like-
it's
Like 450.
right where we have the signals.
From the
On
path.
Pleasant
the
View
path
Drive,
calls
course.
over.
about 550.
That light is off. It's just very dim.
What we called in 27 a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Jeff
Tries to grab it on that earlier morning shift, and
When are we going to start changing over some of those to the LED or whatever?
as soon as we catch up on subdivisions and
Yeah. That's the first
Everything.
priority, is the new stuff that we got money for.
I thought we were going to try to do that.
We are,
but save this.
Subdivision.
Because it started out to
Find
save
some
some
money.
money on electricity. And then all of a sudden it went to this.
Well, it is still. I mean, we didn't want them to put the old lights in. So the new lights, I mean, they're going to go in and they're going to start saving from the get-go. Plus, that's the next phase, is to identify key areas where we think we can save the most money. But, okay. Thanks, Tyson.
You should have
All right,
left.
Chief. Third time's the charm here. Yeah, really, this time it really is. Oh, one more? No, yeah.
Oh,
That's
Tyson.
okay. Recently, with all the concern about pedestrian and crosswalk traffic, we've been watching it. It's no better, no worse than ever. However, Sergeant Doan and I have been able to secure a grant from the Department of Public Safety for 10 5-hour shifts to be overtime for our officers, paid for by the state, for pedestrian crosswalk, school zone safety.
Oh.
So we'll be doing that. Robbie put that together and did an outstanding job on it. And
Yeah.
our new sergeant, he's the man. So
This is Robbie Doan.
yeah, don't figure.
Robin.
Awesome.
So anyway, hats off to Robbie for putting that together. And we've got 30 days to eat up those 10 shifts. So we're going to be working on it.
Is your plan to issue citations? What do you think you're?
Yeah, well, we'll do whatever it takes. If they're in violation, they'll get citations. We can even,
So Weaver, Longview, Orchard Springs is kind of.
all the schools, Weaver High, any crosswalks, and just pedestrian traffic in general. if school's in session and we're out on one of those shifts, we'll just watch the rest of the city with traffic enforcement. Because we'll hit it hard in the morning, hit it hard at noon, or hit it hard at noon and hit it in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then when school's in session, we'll just patrol the city and do general traffic enforcement.
We're also responsible for Majestic also, right?
That's our street, so. And whoever put Pumpkin Palooza together the other night did an outstanding job. I think Sarah probably, maybe Ann and whoever was
No,
on
it
the phone
was
with that.
great to have the officer presence there.
You can just call me chief, not president.
Chief. No, it was great to have Stetson and Goodrich. Is it Goodrich?
Yeah. Pardon?
What's her last name? It's not Goodrich. Good Pasture. Thank you.
Yeah,
There.
Lexus. Yeah, we had Sergeant Talbot, Lexus, and I were there. Yeah, we mingled with the crowd a little bit. We got a lot of positive comments, not only for the police, but the city in general. I think even with the little controversy that's like this lately, the citizens are very well pleased with the city and appear to be with the police also. So that made me feel good. I wanted to pass that on to the city. We're also going to put some pre-snow parking reminders out. They'll be colorful and on vehicles, reminding them of snow parking ordinance, winter parking ordinance. So they'll be coming out probably in the next week or two. We'll just remind them of the dates in the ordinance, see if we can eliminate a lot of Tyson's problems ahead of time. Sunday night, unfortunately, we had an aggravated rape and assault. Pretty involved. We had all our detectives and sergeants and myself out on that. And we've got a suspect. We just got to find him now. I won't go into any details on that, but it was pretty serious. For the month of September, we handled 711 calls, issued 63 citations, and made 4 arrests. And the guys are doing great, and we're staying busy.
Sounds like real busy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Amy.
I just have a couple of quick things. Debbie and I attended the Utah League of Cities and Towns conference last week and got some excellent training and information there. One thing to note, and it's just another, I guess, build into what was in the planning conference, APA, the legislative session's really ramping up, and middle housing is going to be a big focus. So middle income and middle sized housing. And so that's just something to think about. And they had some really great and creative solutions on how we can maybe help to address some options and really help keep the integrity of neighborhoods in doing that. So we can talk more about some of those things. Another thing that came up, and I don't know if Tyson's still there, but public works employees with the current worker shortage are becoming few and far between. So want to come up with some real good strategies and options on getting a little bit more aggressive in recruiting for a couple of existing positions we've had sitting out there for a few months, and look at some options with that and maybe how we can rework some of that. So that's a big thing that's happening right now. We're really excited to prepare to kick off on the transportation master plan project. That's really coming together well, and excited to get going on that. And that's, I think, what I have, unless there's any questions on any other items that we're working on right now. Oh, one more thing, our phones, sorry. I think we're fully transitioned on our phone system, and after several phone calls and emails and trying to figure out, I think we're fully transitioned from our former phone provider to our new one. So we were having a hard time canceling the old one. Lots of hoops, but I think Heather got us there.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back, Laurie. Anything? Ann?
Yeah, we got just a couple upcoming dates to make note of. We've got a pickleball clinic that we're running October 22nd and 23rd. We've got some volunteers that are going to run the clinic, and they're using it as a fundraiser project to go towards the pickleball courts. So anyone who needs a lesson or anything like that, that'll be happening that day. And then
Can you make me better?
maybe, Steve, maybe. You don't need to be much better, right? And then October 19th from 5:30, that's next Tuesday, 5:30 to 7:30, we're having an open house for the fiber, for the public to come and talk about, fiber and where they want to go with it and what our recommendations are and that kind of stuff. We do have it in the newsletter, and then I'll be putting it on social media on our website as well. That's an agenda item as well. Okay, so it'll be advertised that way. Okay. Perfect. That's all I've got.
All righty. Well, I'll hit mine last. Go ahead, sir. Sir?
I attended the Weaver CTC meeting for the mayor in his absence, and that was a good meeting and follow up with all the things that they've been doing over the summer. They've been really, really busy. My goodness. And so they're having another event coming up about cleaning out your prescription drugs, and it's called the National Prescription Drug Take Back event. And that's going to be Saturday, October 23rd from 10 to 2, and we'll advertise for that. And there's 3 drop-off locations within Weaver County, and so until that outdoors, just so that we can get that out.
One's in North Ogden, right?
Yes.
That's or
Smith's Marketplace, Valley Market, Smith's Marketplace in North Ogden, and Walmart Supercenter. So we'll put that out so people can know where to take their outdated prescription medications and just, make our area a nicer and safer place by not having those available.
And a reminder, Councilmember Yuri, we have our drop box in our city hall as well.
Yes, and we'll remind people that that's just kind of a constant, right? Yeah. So, like the chief mentioned, the Pumpkin Palooza was, we didn't know what would happen with all that rain. It rained right up until probably an hour before it started, and so the city council came, we filled bags, and we got it ready, and we had amazing community partners like Johnny Ferry with Honeyville Farms, who reached out to Loft House Cookies because he's got an in with all these amazing bakers around here, donated 600 cookies. And Lee's provided a whole bunch of pumpkins, and Justin Calias from Sam's Club Riverdale donated all this chocolate milk, and all that stuff was gone like in an hour. The world showed up. It was crazy busy. And it was fun. It was fun to have all the community out. And Pickleball had a table up, and cute Elaine Fisher said, even without providing any sort of raffle, we have people just dropping off money and donating. So that was kind of cool and a lot of fun. What's ping pong? No, she had a table she was sitting at where people could drop off donations.
the
Smart
next
aleck.
event is not till December then?
The next event, is Santa Claus. There won't be any reindeer. Cindy said, she decided that there wouldn't be any reindeer because the one guy's not doing it anymore. He was charging double. And the other place that she looked at, but it'll still be lots of fun. Kevin and Chris, you're going to be Santa Claus. Don't tell your kids. Whatever. I know. There's no Santa Claus. They're going to be Santa's helpers. There you go. I know. Big surprise there. Anyway, it's just.
What day is that?
I believe it's December 9th. Hang on. It's like the second Saturday in December. Hang on, I'll tell you. December 11th is December 11th. And I did have a question. I've had some LDS Stake Youth Council leaders reaching out to me asking if we're going to do what we did last year with the Tri-City Exchange with the turkeys and stuff in November.
We can reach out to Tri-City.
They are excited, they're on board, and they want to come and help again. So maybe we can reach out to Mike and see if we're going to do that again. So anyway, things are exciting in the city, and grateful for all that you guys do and all of our staff and
last I talked to Mike, he was gearing up for it, and so I think, but I don't know. He hasn't told me how many he's going to have available or anything, so I'll try to get hold of him and find out some more. Okay. Steve.
Have we done the electrical engineering work for the proposed pickleball areas?
No, we haven't done any engineering.
I have a friend who I talked to the other day, and he's an electrical engineer and would like to volunteer any engineering for the electrical part.
Okay, perfect.
So Kevin Connor.
Yeah.
So let's not pay any money for that. We'll just have it be done. And I would like to publicly thank Sarah. She and I fought many years.
Oh, we don't.
She
fight.
does such a good job with these activities. And I went up there to the Pumpkin Palooza, and she's just running around, and it just she's a food truck lover and all these different things, but she really does a good job and getting those things up and running. And I want to publicly thank her for that. It just,
That's fair.
I mean, that's, it's hard to have time to do some of those things, and Sarah is just right in the middle of it, and it's appreciated. I think the residents really appreciate it. Even on that cold, wet day, there was lines up and things going back and forth. And I know there's a lot of other people that go, but Sarah, thank you for all the stuff you do. It really is noticed.
Community.
And
Support.
and that is what Pleasant View is all about. I love that we can come together as a community. We love the police. Hopefully we won't have any of the crap that goes on elsewhere. So that's all I have.
All right, great. Just a couple of things. One is I have a question, Chief, about the crosswalk on Pleasant View Drive. Does students from below Pleasant View Drive still go up to Longman View? I thought they all went down to Orchard Springs.
Some do, some go up.
Really? Are they?
I'll start charging it now.
Okay.
I sit and watch the afternoons and I see them come down across.
They all go to Strong Market.
All right. I was thinking that coming back because, my granddaughter just lives on Pleasant View Drive, but just below it. And so she had to go she was heartbroken. She had to go from Longman View to Orchard Springs. And the other day I was coming by and I saw one kid and I thought, wait a minute. I thought that was the dividing line. So I was wondering.
That's a good point. Why do you need that?
But tell you what we did at Orchard Springs, they wanted a kindergarten crossing guard. And so we provided one for a month just to see how it would go. And there was like 2 kids with parents every day, and the parents walked them. They're not about to let a 5-year-old navigate that themselves. So we did it for a month. I went and met with the school principal, and we decided to call that off. But we did it for a couple more days to let the 2 parents that did walk the kids to school know that as of Friday the 30th or whatever it was, that we would no longer be doing it. So school was on board with that, and I ran it by Amy, and probably think it was a good decision.
Yeah, like I said, I was curious. I thought, I was wondering if we could eliminate. I wondering if there was some legacy, maybe kids that were still going there or something. But
I don't know if they gave them a choice or what, but there's some.
There is quite in the afternoon, there's a lot. Sometimes parents will drive up so they don't have to navigate traffic and park on the south side of Pleasant View Park and let their kids out and have them cross.
Okay. Well, if it's still needed, it's still needed. And also, Tyson, last council meeting, we talked about Weber High Drive crossing again at 400, or is it 400? Yeah. About possibly putting a lighted crossing there like we did kind of down here. We wouldn't need to do the ramps handicap work because it's already there, but so if you could get that cost, maybe what some lights would be for there, so the council can make a decision. I don't know if that's something we want to look at this year's budget or get the information. If you get the cost, we can have that discussion anyway.
Hello?
I've been gone, so no, I haven't talked to anybody yet. We could, I don't know, Amy, did you have a discussion with Lane Finley on what we just talked about? If not,
I haven't had a chance to connect with them again after the meeting. I've made some connections with them before. So, and I know we've been in contact with them on safe routes to schools.
All right, we'll get the cost and see if they'll partner with us like they did of the other one. I'm anticipating more around $5,000. I think that's the figure he gave us a couple of years ago. So, okay,
So double.
all right, yeah, perfect. All right, that's all I really had, other than to thank all the council. You know, this past year we tried a little bit different approach. Asked you all to be on different committees, different working committees, to kind of break some things up and get more council involvement in different little aspects. And I think it's worked out great. I don't know what you guys have thought about it, but I really appreciate the work that you've done and the ability to I don't know. I think it just makes things flow better.
I've appreciated it. I thought that they've been really effective and a good way to collaborate and get things done. So.
Alrighty.
Does it take any time off of the staff, or is it just create more work?
Oh, I don't think it creates more work. I really
No,
don't.
I'm serious.
No.
You know, we talked
I
about
think
that
it might make them a little bit more busy. I don't know.
of relieving some of the staff work, and I feel like, I mean, it's been fun.
Well, I
to
think
be involved, but it seems like we haven't really. I don't know.
I think it makes things smoother. Like here, you know, meetings that could go till 9 or 10 o'clock because we're asking all the questions that we already should have the answers to. You know, so I think it's helped a lot there. I think it has taken some of the burden off the staff. You know, if you look at you know what it would have taken to do the Veterans Monument without all the outside help in the organization, the pickleball, you know, even working on the skyline things that we've worked on. Plus, it gives them an idea, a feel for guidance that, you know, oh, well, this is kind of the direction the council seems to want to be heading in, and so they're not just trying to guess. So I think it's advantageous to them. So it is to me. So
I think it provides that connection too with collaborative things. You know, when people have a connection with somebody or know something that otherwise you may not discuss in this area, but you know, if Anne knows people that she can reach out to, or Steve or whatever, I think it provides that communication.
all right, if there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned. 1 hour. Not even a whole hour because we were 3 minutes late starting. So.
5 minutes.